Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Lamont. I am the founder of I-30 Media Corporation and the author of Lean Media. Today, I'm going to be continuing my Amazon Deep Dive series for publishers and covering some fundamental aspects of Amazon that publishers should know about. This is part of a series covering different programs and aspects of using Amazon. One disclaimer I'd like to add, I don't work for Amazon, but this is based on my observations and my experience over many years. I always advise closely understanding Amazon terms of services, and note that some programs may be a little bit different either when you try them out or by the time you try them out, because Amazon does update them. And just as it's possible to make a lot of money using Amazon as a publisher or a seller, it's also possible to lose money. So you need to be aware of those risks. Okay, let's get started with Amazon search. And this may seem like a strange place to get started because, after all, everybody knows about Amazon search. But for publishers, you need to pay attention to a few aspects of not only web search but also mobile search. Note that in recent years, smartphone traffic, and that includes mobile browsers on like an iPhone or an Android device, as well as the applications, the mobile apps, the mobile Amazon shopping apps. Many people are using those to make purchases and also to find out information about different things. Let's take a look at these two screenshots for the same term, searching for romance novels for the web, which is on the left, and then in the mobile app on the right. And the terms that pop up below there, that's actually based on real Amazon search traffic. So those terms that are showing up below romance novels, for instance, romance novels bestsellers 2018, those are terms that real live Amazon customers are using to search for things, and they're being ranked below the search window. The terms look similar, but they're not the same. So some of the terms that appear in the web version do not appear in the mobile version. To give you an example, in the web version, people are searching for steamy romance novels Kindle free, but that doesn't show up in the mobile version. That is the mobile app. So what does this tell you? Well, it tells you that the audience for the web version, the mobile version, may not be the same. So for instance, younger users may be more likely to use the Amazon app, whereas older users may be more likely to use the web version on a browser. And if your books or the other products that you sell are more oriented towards one or the other audience, when you're doing research for keywords and other terms that you might want to use in your subtitle, for instance, you need to be aware of which platform that they're using. And why is this a big deal? Well, obviously, this data has value because if you know that people are using certain terms to search for things, that should be those types of terms should be incorporated into how you're positioning your book or how you're presenting your book. It's important to note that unlike Google search, people searching on Amazon, they have intent to buy. That's a very big difference because if I'm searching for romance novels on Google, I may just be searching like just for some background information. People on Amazon, they actually want to buy a romance novel. And this is also a great way to test keywords. So maybe you have some notion about what keywords that your users or your readers are using on Amazon, and then you release a book, and maybe you find out that that's not quite the case. And actually, I'm going to tell you a story about a publisher who just made a massive mistake doing that with a title called Spreadsheets in 30 Minutes. And actually, this publisher is me. This is when I first got started publishing books years ago on Amazon. I thought that people wanted a book about spreadsheets in general. So I wrote this book. It covered Excel and it covered Google Sheets, explained how to use it. This is kind of part of the In 30 Minutes brand that I created. Make it easy to understand something in a short period of time. And I called it Spreadsheets in 30 Minutes. And I released the book and it promptly did nothing. I was lucky if there was maybe 5 or 10 sales in a month. And then I started looking at the keyword data on Amazon, and I discovered that people aren't searching for spreadsheets. They're searching for specific software programs. That is, they're searching for Excel or Google Sheets. And I changed the title of the book to Excel Basics in 30 Minutes, The Beginner's Guide to Excel 2016, Excel Online and Google Sheets. And that book is now my #2 selling book on Amazon. So besides choosing a title that fits your product or your book or whatever, you also have to think about how the detail page, that is the product page, shows up when users are browsing it. And we call that optimization. So obviously, if you optimize your page better, more people will buy the product. And that means more revenue, but it also means higher search ranking. And when I say organic search, I mean the search that Amazon presents to users when they type in a term. Amazon uses an algorithm to determine which books or which products show up at the top of the list. You want to be higher on the list. You want to be at the top of the list, hopefully on the first page. You don't want to be on page 12, which no one is going to see. So two things that I think are important for publishers and sellers to understand. There's two rates that I use to measure the success, not only of the title of the product that I'm using, or maybe the cover or the images that I'm using for the product or the book, but also on the detail page itself. So the first one is CTR. That means click-through rate. And click-through rate measures how often people will click on the link when it's presented in Amazon search. So if you're searching for romance novels and your book shows up in that list and people see it, let's say that 10 people see it and one person clicks on it, that means the click-through rate for that group of 10 people is 10%. Now, usually you actually have thousands and sometimes even millions of people looking through results and seeing the name of your book or the name of your product in search. So the numbers are very skewed. But generally, if you can get 3 people checking out your book for every 1,000 people that see the link, that's a 0.3% click-through rate, and that's actually pretty good. The conversion rate is once people get to your page, your detail page, that's asking what percent of the people are actually buying the book or buying the product. And if you have a conversion rate of at least 10%, I consider that to be pretty good. So those are the rates that I keep in mind. And you may be thinking, well, how do you possibly measure the conversion rate? How do you know how many people are hitting your detail page and then are deciding to buy it? And there's actually 3 ways to do it. And I'll be talking about these programs in this Amazon deep dive. One of them is Amazon Advertising. That will come in later in the series. Amazon Seller Central also reveals this data. And then there's a program called Amazon Associates. This is not as well known, but let's take a little detour and talk about it. So Amazon Associates is called an affiliate program. Affiliate program means Amazon basically wants other people to help drive traffic to the Amazon website to buy things. So what they do is they give out special links that can then be put on other people's websites, and then when people click on those links, like viewers or browsers or people that are surfing the web, when they click on the link and then they come to Amazon and they decide to buy it, Amazon gives the person who placed the link on their website a small portion of the sales. So it's typically, I think, 3 or 4%. It's important to note that it's not just the sale of the book that you're selling, it's the sale of anything that person decides to buy. So let's talk first about books. This is the official website for my Excel Basics in 30 Minutes books. And you'll see that I have a bunch of links below there going to each one of the places where you can buy the book, either the print book or the ebook edition. And these 2 links, the one that go to the Amazon button and the Kindle button, those are actually affiliate links. So when somebody clicks on, let's say somebody comes to my website and they're browsing around and I have blog posts and things like that, and they decide to buy something, and they click on the Kindle link, and they click through to the Amazon website, and the Kindle edition is about $7.99, and they decide to buy that book, I'll get 4% of that $7.99. It's also important to notice that if that person continues to buy things, I'll get a portion of those other sales too. And actually, one time I managed to get somebody bought one of my books, and then they bought like a $1,500 compressor or generator or something like that. So I got 4% of $1,500, which is, I don't know, like $60 or something. And so that was a pretty good day. But to be honest with you, it doesn't happen all the time. But I'm happy to get at least 4% for the sales of my own books coming from my website. So highlighted here is what this affiliate link looks like. And usually you never look at these gigantic long links leading back to Amazon or any other website. But there's a portion of it that tells Amazon that this is actually an affiliate link as opposed to an ordinary link, which doesn't bring any benefit. It's also important to note that it's not only Amazon that offers affiliate programs. Apple has its own affiliate relationship. I think they use a third party called Rakuten. So that link on my website to iTunes to buy the ebook version for the iPad, it is also an affiliate link. But to be honest with you, I don't get much business from that one. I do get a trickle of traffic to the Amazon links, and that generates maybe $100, $200 every year for my business. It's not a huge thing, but I don't have to do anything about it. And I know that there are some people out there, including publishers, who actually turn affiliate links into big business because they have reviews of lots of different products, or maybe they're they're talking about other things on their websites or social media that might lead people to buy something on Amazon. So you can make some money. You can make some money out of that. So what goes into a DPV that converts well? DPV means detail page view. That's actually a term that Amazon advertising uses to describe somebody viewing your detail page. And as I said before, you want a conversion rate that's maybe at least 10%. I consider that to be pretty good. If it's 8 or 9%, that's okay too. If it's less than 5% people coming to the detail page, there may be something wrong with your detail page. Like, people are coming there, they're expecting something, but what they see doesn't meet expectations, so they're less likely to click through. So the list on the left shows the different types of things that people will be looking at. Image, title, the price, whether it's available. So here it says in stock. That's pretty important. Whether or not it's Prime. That's a huge thing for a lot of people, because when they see the Prime with the check mark next to it, they know that when they order it, it will come within 2 days. User or reader reviews. So obviously, the more you have and the higher they are, the better it is for you, because it kind of validates that the product is a quality product. And I'm proud to say that the products I produce, 4.5 stars, lots of reviews. A clear description, of course, that helps. People don't want to wonder what they're buying. And also sometimes expert reviews. So if you use editorial reviews on your book detail page, that's a good thing. But keep in mind, the detail page needs to meet expectations. So, like, if you're selling a romance novel and people hit your detail page and the cover of the romance novel doesn't look like a romance novel, maybe it looks like a science fiction story, that's going to turn people off, because maybe romance novel audiences and readers, they expect a certain type of cover. Likewise, if they hit your page and instead of showing Amazon Prime in stock, it doesn't say Amazon Prime, and it says, available in 2 weeks, or ships you will arrive at the end of the next month. That's a bad signal for people, and they'll turn away from it. And finally, I'd like to mention that a lot of these detail page views, they're not on a web browser. They're on a mobile device, and on a mobile device, you won't see as much. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a minute. Okay, so for your descriptions, let's get back to the description that you have for whatever product or book you're selling. There's some do's and don'ts. So the do's, 10-second rule. That means within 10 seconds, they really have to know what they're getting into, and maybe they have to be curious about it. They know what they know what the product is or the book is, and the description really makes them want to buy it as best as possible. You want to summarize what it is, but you don't want to give it away, especially if it's a book. So you don't want to give away the plot like in one paragraph. You don't want to say, "Oh yeah," and then the hero dies at the end of the story. That would obviously turn people away, because it just ruins the story for them. You can highlight the awards or the qualifications of the author. A comparison of why your product is better, and I'm not talking about direct comparison, like my book is better than Stephen King because of XYZ, but just say why your book or why your product is superior. So, for instance, for the products I sell genealogy products. I always stress the fact that I use archival quality paper. This is expensive, heavy paper, acid-free, and I consider that to be a major differentiator between what I'm selling compared to what somebody else might be selling, which may not be as high quality. You can use HTML formatting, and for those of you who don't know, if I paste this text into the Amazon KDP or Amazon Advantage description field, it will make the letters HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, it will make that bold. So the B and then the closing bracket B here, that makes whatever's inside bold. You can also do other things like make it italics by using a different set of codes. And to find out what these codes are, just Google HTML, and hopefully you'll find some type of tutorial. You can use bullets and emojis, and the one that I always like to use is the green check mark emoji. I think that this may be cut back in the future, because obviously it's pretty easy to abuse, but for the time being, If you can find emojis, and there's something called Emojipedia online, you can just basically easily copy an emoji and paste it right into your description. Oh, here's an example of HTML. So on this particular description, I said updated. Do you have 30 minutes to spare? It's all you need to do to get up to speed, blah, blah, blah. So updated is bolded. Top selling guide to Google Docs, Drive, Sheets, and Slides. That's called an H2 header format. And I use other things too. All right, so let's talk about the don'ts. So what are the don'ts? Long paragraphs without breaks. I've seen publishers sometimes use like just not have any paragraph spaces for some reason. And it could be that it was accidentally stripped out or something else, but you want to check that to make sure that doesn't happen to you. And also you don't want to write long, gigantic paragraphs because people like getting bite-sized chunks. Don't give a play-by-play plot synopsis of what happens. And of course, don't give away the ending if you're writing fiction. Keyword stuffing. This is sometimes you see people do this in their subtitles. Like they'll say, "Oh, romance novel," and then at the end they'll put like, heartwarming love story set in blah 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 blah. And it's actually a description of the book rather than a part of the title. But what they're doing is they think that if they have those descriptive words, it will help them rank higher in search. It's a little bit irritating, and to me, sometimes it can be a signal of bad quality if it's over the top. But I do not recommend doing that. And also, don't ask your authors to write descriptions for you unless they themselves are good marketers. And some of them really are, but a lot of them they don't know what they're doing, and it's up to you as a publisher to kind of guide that part of the process. All right, here's an interesting thing. This is from my Amazon seller account. It shows the detail, page sales, and traffic for two products that are almost the same. One of them is 10 of one product, like it's a bundle, and then the other one is just a single item. And you can see on the right side, one of them has a conversion rate of 15%. That means that's good. That means of every 100 people who come to that page, 15% of them end up buying it. That's excellent. Below it, the other version of it, it's only 6%. And you may be thinking, all right, well, how can that be? Because it's the same product. And let's take a look at the detail page. I think you'll find out why. So here are the two products. And can you guess which one is the one that converts at 15% versus the one that converts at 6%? Just take a quick look at it. Look at the things like image, the number of reviews, the things I was saying about Prime, etc. Yeah, and it should be pretty clear that the 15% one is the one on the right. The one that's 6% is the one on the left. That's the single one. Even though that's cheaper, the other factors are weighing on people's mind and clearly encouraging them to buy the one on the right, be more likely to buy the one on the right. So on the left, the $9.99 one, it says free shipping, but it's not Prime. And in fact, it says deliver Friday, April 5th to Friday, April 12th. So this is a couple weeks in the future from when I took the screenshot. It's in stock though, which is good. There's 6 reviews, 4 stars. That's all right. It's okay. It's not great. The image though, this image is nothing special. You can't even see what it is. And it just looks black and white. Nothing. It doesn't stand out at all. And there's only one image. Now compare that to the one on the right. Amazon Prime. That's great. The images, you can actually see there's 4 images. And the first one is color. And it's 3D. It looks kind of cool. So that attracts people's attention. And then up here, 18 reviews, all mostly 5-star. So that's another plus for this one. So that's why I think this page converts so well. All right. So why are reviews important? Well, obviously they help drive sales. The more positive reviews you have, it's more likely people are going to check out the product and also end up buying it. I'll come back to why that's also a dangerous thing. It impacts advertising costs because just like I showed you, one of my products has a conversion rate of 6%, and the other one that's 15%. If I want to advertise the product and send people to that page, so they buy it, I have to send far more people to that page because it's converting at a much lower rate. If I wanted to equal the other one, that's 15%. And the other reasons why reviews are important, well, this gets back to the lean media thing that's very important to me. And lean media basically is a methodology for making great media. And one thing is you start to use feedback cycles on the media that you have to better understand your customer and then to improve the media so it'll resonate more with them or other audience members in the future. And reviews are a perfect example of that. If you have like a product and you put it out there and then people are complaining in the reviews like, oh, wait a second, I was expecting something else, that tells you that their expectations aren't the same. And it might be a matter of changing the packaging or some other aspect of the marketing, but also it might be the product itself has some sort of problem. Like, it could be a fundamental issue with the book or whatever other product that you're selling. So reviews can really help point the way to that type of thing. You don't have to follow every suggestion that reviewers say, but they could be a clue that you need to change things up. And then it's important to note that, you should try to get legitimate reviews. You don't want to be paying people for reviews. Not only is that's just ethically wrong, it's also against Amazon's terms of service. And if Amazon finds out, it's very likely that they'll just cancel your account or really give you a hard time about it. And you don't want to be there. So I always say, you want honest, real reviews, even better from verified users. But there's other ways to do it if you are an author, and here are some ways. Book front matter or back matter. So in the back of each one of the books that I publish, I have a little message from the author thanking the reader and talking about how to get in touch with them. But the author also asked the readers to give a short review. It just take a minute to give a short review so other people know what to expect. Goodreads. This is a website, a community for readers owned by Amazon, and you can pay Goodreads to kind of organize a book giveaway. And basically, you pay them a set amount of money. I think it's a couple $100s. They'll set it up online and basically advertise the giveaway, like, oh, who wants to win a free copy of my latest romance novel, and Goodreads will choose those people, send you the mailing address so you can send them a copy of the book, and then hopefully those people will write a review. No guarantee, but hopefully they will. ARC programs, those are like advanced reader copies or advanced review copies, and this allows you to give copies that may not be in a final state, to give them to reviewers so you can have some, so basically you can get some either editorial reviews or maybe even some reader reviews once it finally launches. The early reviewer program, I'm going to talk about this in another episode of my deep dive. I'll get into it later. It's a part of the professional Amazon seller accounts, and you can use them for books, I've discovered. Amazon Seller also has a way to directly connect with customers, and you can ask them for feedback about your product. And then you can also, not for books, but for other types of products, you can do something called an insert, asking for a product review. And here's an example. It's an insert with a call to action, or a CTA. The one on the left is the one that I use for the genealogy products that my company produces. And you can see, thanks, we appreciate your business. And we ask them to leave an online review, an honest review. That's what our call to action is, our CTA. The one on the right, this was for a kids product, and we're here to help. And it says, contacting us directly allows us to solve your issue significantly faster than if you write a review. So their CTA is a bit different. They don't want people writing reviews. They want people contacting them directly. I imagine if there's some problem, they can help solve it. But maybe there's other reasons they want to do that, including, you're not supposed to do this, but asking for a positive review. So one thing I advise, never ask people for positive reviews. And by the way, I'm not saying that this company does that, but when I see something like that, it indicates to me, first of all, that they may have problems with negative reviews, and they may be trying to turn a negative into a positive. And I've seen, as a customer on Amazon, I've seen this. When I've complained about some product, I get, this company is bending over backwards to fix the problem or send me a replacement. Oh, and by the way, can you write a positive review about the product? Well, I'm not supposed to do that, but they ask anyways. So that is basically the end of this particular segment. But I just wanted to show you something that's kind of funny and kind of scary at the same time. It's a review you never want to see. So this is something I saw some years ago, and for some reason the paperback version is actually printed backwards. Now, you may get a little chuckle out of that and think, oh my God, what happened there? But to me, that indicates a problem. And if I was the publisher of this book, I would be talking to the printer, whether it's a print-on-demand printer or a regular printer, and saying, is something wrong with the production line there? Because somebody said that the book was printed backwards. I don't know if that means a mirror image or the first page was in the very back of the book instead of being in the front of the book or something like that. And then, strangely, the review above it says, I never received the book, but they did say they still gave it 3 stars. So for more information about this presentation, to see the other episodes, go to leanmedia.org and click on the video link. You can also check out my social media accounts and contact me through there. I can give you more information about it. Thank you so much for watching.